All right, so I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog, and this is what happens when the producer, for whatever reason, I don't think the producer did anything wrong. I think somebody's moving in. There's some young female producer who's trying to bump out our producer. I thought our producer's the biggest asshole who ever drew breath, but now all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, you know, the green grass is never another pasture, or whatever they say, the grass is never greener on the other side of the fence. I don't know what they say, but all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, this girl, she's a tyrant. She's a whatever you say, a Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? This girl, she's a big ragster. I thought the producer was bad. I thought the producer was a prick. This girl is holding down the producer like a lion holds down a hyena and rips its throat out and shakes it around like a rag doll. This girl producer come out of nowhere and she's ragged down the old producer. And anyways, this is a crazy situation where she's saying we're going to have to do this, that, the other thing. We got to do this take, which she's dictating to us that we take. That's what the producers do the best. They dictate what the talent has to do, whether the talent understands it or not. And like I'm reading, again, from a cold script, a nondescript cold script. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So this girl producer, this new producer who's taken over for the producer, who, God forbid, I never thought these words would come out of my mouth. I long for the days of the old producer. I mean, not the second producer, the first producer that vanished into Uruguay with the writer girl. I don't know. Anyways, so this producer girl says, I want to do a take on Jojo Siwa. And I thought, Jojo Siwa, are you talking about that guy who started the Avenging Knights there in New York City? The Karate Angels? Remember those guys who walked around with the berets back in the 80s and they fought the bad guys out in the streets? Curtis Sleewall was one of those Avenging Angel guys, whatever they call them, the Subway Angels. But I was wrong. It had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with it. This girl's name wasn't Jojo Siwa. It was Jojo Siwa, I think. Siwa. Jojo Siwa. So this girl, she started on Dance Moms. And she was a friend of Colleen Salinger. Colleen Salinger, is that the daughter or the sister of the guy who wrote Catcher in the Rye? No. Colleen Bollinger, Amanda Sings. That's who it was. Anyways, this Jojo Siwa, she was a child star who's now in her 20s, who's making billions of dollars, making cringy hair berets. She's making hair barrettes, and she's cringy. They definitely say she's Larry David cringy. Now this girl, Jojo Siwa, she wants to do music, and she's entering her bad girl era with the song Karma. Now, the thing you got to be careful about, according to this new producer lady, Carmen Siwa, she has this little band of little girls, and she started her own rip-off Dance Moms. And one of the girls in her rip-off Dance Moms reality show had a disability. I don't know what kind of disability it was. They said she kind of had rickets or scoliosis, but she was bleeding out of her belly button. And this girl, this Jojo lady she's a billionaire in the hair barrette business, she says, shove a couple tampons up your belly button. Now, put a tampon over it and, you know what I'm saying, duct tape a tampon around your bleeding belly button and the show must go on. But bottom line, she claims, this girl, Jojo Siwa, she claims Swai, I don't know what her name is. She claims that she is this generation's Miley Cyrus, which I thought, Millie Virus. No. Miley Cyrus, not Molly Cypress or Millie Virus. She's this generation's Miley Cyrus. She's like an Elvis Presley-esque character, although she has a speech impediment. And the one thing that the producer lady wanted to say was she's not a Miley Cyrus wannabe. She's not a Miley Cyrus wannabe. She ain't jack shit. This producer is saying this girl is basically a freak with a speech impediment who's scamming the world, and she's a defender of Amanda Sings, and she's defending the fact that Amanda Sings, is too chummy, too close with the children. Now, is Amanda Sings? I love Amanda Sings. As a stupid dog, I want to say one thing. I love Amanda Sings. But if you're swapping underwear with this one, that one, the other one, if you're doing these kind of goosey-ass songs with little children, if this little 13-year-old girl is now a 20-year-old girl who says this 37-year-old Amanda Sings is A-OK in her book, I'm suspicious of the whole damn thing. But this was a new kind of a take. This is the new generation. I don't know if this is generation XYZPD or a generation, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the other generation would be. I'm not sure what it'd be. I mean, I don't know what letters are up next. Maybe we're starting over. Maybe this is Alpha Omega generation. I'm not sure. But this generation's new bitchy producer girl situation is, coming to the fore, and she's calling out these other people because she's in touch with this stuff. Our old producer was 24 years old, and he's old. Our old producer, our third generation producer, was 24 years old, and he's getting pushed out by an 18-year-old girl who lives in a loft in nobody knows where. It's a crazy situation. That's what this world's coming to. And the best thing you can hope for is to cling to this shit, because the next phase is AI, and then it's all over. It's all over but the shouting at that point.